receive this recording in about 2 hours after we complete it. So let's go ahead and share the screen. I'm going to go over, I'm going to have to unfortunately find our little workshop here. Let's see. Let's go here and let's get this off. And let's go here and do our file and find our disaster relief. Here we go. Okay. So welcome to our disaster relief, middleman and dibs. What I'm going to share with you is going to be just a quick overview because I want to spend time on the bidding platforms, which is not on the actual training. Everything else is on the training. The bid platform is not. So I'm going to spend 15 minutes going over the portion that's already on the school, and we're going to spend the next 45 minutes going over the bid platform so you can see how and what to do to find the bids. If after that you have any questions, go back to the training, and then I'd like for you to come back again on March 28th. If you have any, you can come here as many times as you want. The next one will be March 28th. Okay? All right. So the first thing you want to understand is disaster relief is in 4 phases. Phase 1 is mitigation, 2 is preparedness, 3 is for recovery for response, and 4 is for recovery. The third phase, you're going to register in sam.gov. I'll share with you once again where to find that. The third phase is response. That's when the actual tornado, hurricane, flood is actually going on during. So you're there right after the storm hit, like hours. There's a recall roster that they add your name on if they think they want to use your business. You will register in SAM. You'll register for one state or multiple states. The rule of thumb is this. If you cannot get to that location within 48 hours, that means you have children you have to put in daycare, dog you have to put in doggy daycare, whatever personal obligations you have, you must be able to get them situated where you can be recalled within 48 hours. I like to do it in my own county. So I did it in Orange County in Orlando, Florida, because that meant if they recalled me, I could get there and I could usually come back home. The only time you're having to stay at the location is if you deploy there. So there are a lot of people that deploy because they take this part seriously. They only do disaster relief. They do 50,000 a month, but a lot of times they're having to travel. We call them storm chasers. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is when this workshop ends, you ask yourself, what do I want to offer? So let's say I want to offer nursing. I can do nursing with disaster relief contracts. I can do any industry in disaster relief. Now, are there some industries that really, they utilize more? Of course. Some of them would be facility support. With a storm, there's a lot of cleanup. So facility support, janitorial is going to be a big one. Nursing, because there's health issues. That's going to be a big one. Debris removal. People have trucks. Those are going to be your primary ones that really get a lot of contracts, but all of them you can do. So when people say, Miss M, what industry is the biggest one? Well, there's a lot of them. We just need to find the contracts. So the first thing is figuring out what you want to offer. That's our O. O equals offer. The next is for the B for buyer. If you're doing the federal contracts with disaster relief, there's only one buyer you have to be concerned with, and that is going to be FEMA. So on the actual school platform, we share with you how to come through and register in FEMA. You're going to come to the vendor profile form. You're going to put in all this information. You do need your cage code at this point. Where we like to help you is with your description. Provide a brief description of your commodity or services. I work with FEMA to help, or I work with FEMA to assist providing products at a faster speed. This is what I do. You always want to tell something about how you're helping, saving, securing, just not just say, I provide facility support services. my facility support service or my nursing or my security guard, we save money with our commodity, and this is what it is. That's going to get their attention because you're already letting them know that you can save them money, time, something like that. This is where you want to try to accept the government credit cards because a lot of these are 10,000 and under, and you can do several for 10,000 and under. So you want to make sure that the list that they give you is a generic list. The more inclusive list is here. Now, when you get here, you must come in and you must hit submit. When you hit submit, it's going to go to here. It will go to this email. Now, this is part 2. Part 1 is the FEMA form. Part 2 is what I'm going to share with you now. Part 2 is if you want to do these. These are highly sought after. They call them commonly used sheltering items. That's where the CUSI comes from. This is the second part. You're going to look on this list and see if you think there's anything you can provide. Of course, we don't know how much water. We don't know how many security guards. They just want to know if you feel you can provide it. If you feel you can provide water to a level that probably will be used in a storm, hit yes. Durable medical equipment. You don't know what type. If you say you can do this, they will then come back with a more detailed of what they need. They need this kind of office supplies. Office supplies could be from staplers to trash cans. So if you think you can provide this, you're going to break it down into product or service. I did security guards. I did temporary labor. Of course, did janitorial service. I did office supplies, shredder bins, portable toilets. I did several of these. I did services and I did product. If you feel you can provide these, you're going to click onto the email. You're going to copy and paste your introduction letter. You're going to come here and on your letterhead, you can simply go to canva.com and create a letterhead logo if you don't have one, but we need to have it on logo. No exceptions. This is where you're going to use our example and customize it to fit yours. This is an introduction letter that can be used to a contracting officer. It can be used to introduce yourself to FEMA. It can be used for anything. Now, of course, if you're using it to FEMA, you want to use certain words that resonate with FEMA. We're ready to be in stage 4 of the preparedness. Our office supplies are blah, blah. You want to customize it. So you want to include what disaster phase you're looking at working. You want to make sure that you even look at this. You want to come to fiscal year budget, and you've got this. This is in your information you're going to receive 2 hours after we complete this. You want to come to the fiscal year budget in brief, because when you find the agency, these are all the agencies under FEMA. I'm sorry, under Department of Homeland Security. All of these agencies. FEMA is on here as well. So when you find FEMA, which is, let's see, where is FEMA? Here it is, 63. You're going to go there and it's going to give you what they're going to look for the most in preparedness. They're going to spend 20 extra million in response. Start looking at what they're asking for. Now, remember, we want to do progress, not be paralyzed, which means you're not going to, because you're going to get a week beginning today. You'll get 1 week to send us a copy of your CAPE statement, and 1 week to send us a copy of your website link, and 1 week to send us a copy of your introduction letter. We're going to review it and get back with you in a week. Now, after that, can you send it again? Absolutely. But we may take 2 days to review it. Now we're giving you a time frame. We'll have it back to you. You can send it to us as many times as you make the changes and the adjustments, because that's what you need to do. Until you get a contract, you need to keep improving it. 20%, if possible, every 2 weeks, at least once a month. Okay? So you're going to visit these pages, and you're going to visit their website, because that's how you get to know who is your buyer. You need to know them like the back of your hand. What does FEMA buy? What phase do they buy the most in? What phase are you going to sell in? That's how you win these contracts. That's how you win them. Because the number one way to win is through getting to know the contracting officer where you don't even have to bid. They just give it to you. That's the goal. But we're going to cover a little bit about if you have to bid, the best place to go. Are there any questions on this part? Disaster relief. You know to go back and listen to the phase. You got to figure out the phase. Any NASCO can work in any phase, but it depends on what you have. Preparedness and recovery are the best ones. Then response, last is mitigation. No questions. Okay. All right. Do you have a question, Trina? Okay. So if you didn't put you had a question there, I'm going to assume that. No, great. All right. So now we're going to keep on going. We figured out that we want to work with FEMA. We know what we need to do. If we want to work with our state, we're going to simply go to Florida, the state that you're belonging in, emergency management. Your page is going to come up and you're going to click onto it. You're going to find their contact information, which is normally down here. And you're going to do the same thing. Send them an introduction letter and you're going to send them your introduction and your case statement. Now, you guys are going to receive this later on after we're finished. In here is what you're going to receive. Here is going to be, there's going to be a link for the prime contractors. I think it's up here. So all of the prime contractors are right here. This is going to be the prime contractors. There's 5 of them. Now, these are millions of dollars. These are big boys. But they work with small companies. If you fill the application out, we've had students get calls. We've had students get responses. So do your due diligence. Work this folder that we send you. Look at every one of these things. It's introduction letters for anyone. It can be for a sub. It can be for a contracting officer. It can be for anyone. An introduction letter just introduces you. You've got your capability statement example, your dynamic small business search example, your introduction letters. All of this will be sent to you within 2 hours, along with the recording. You'll see that the recording will be on the top. So this is the layout. It's pretty long because we have quite a bit of information. Your recording will be here. This is where you'll click to get all your emails, templates, what to say. You can also use that as a phone script. You're going to get that. And remember, you're going to get this list of all the phone numbers. So now you know what to say. You're going to start calling. I start calling 25. That's how you win a no bid. You want to win a no bid by calling and having them say, I've got something for you. I'm going to send it to you. They're either going to say, let me give you the bid, or they're going to tell you to bid with 3 other people, or they're going to give you the price and say, I'm going to send you a scope of work. Can you do it for this amount of money? This is where the work comes in. We can't do that for you. So this is where I want you to set up a schedule. On Mondays, you might make 25 phone calls. Tuesday, you might make 25. You might make 12 on Monday, 12 on Tuesday. Try to at least do 100 a week. Try for at least 100. So divide that into what that is. If you work a 9 to 5, then you probably can't call. That's when you're going to do your emails. You can email. Okay, they've got their emails on here, and they also have the phone numbers. Use this guide. It is priceless to have that many government phone numbers in one place. Okay, now let's continue. So now we know what we need to have. We need to have our basic requirements, website, introduction letter, capability statement, our capability briefing, and our business cards. You don't have to send us the business cards, but everything else is in this package. So all you're doing is going on here. You're going to see your capability briefing. You can download that. You're going to see everything you need right here. All of your information is going to be right here. So you can see it right in this area under the swipe files. Capability example, briefing, all that's on there. You're just going to download. You can copy and paste it. It's a template. Customize it for you. All right. Now, SAM.gov. If you don't have your cage code, there's a way to follow it to get your sam.gov. You need that if you want to do federal. If you only want to do state, you can do state. I also went over making sure that you guys understood the next step, which is going to be, let's come here. So let's recap. O is for offer. I want to do nursing, and I want to do it disaster relief, and I want to do it for myself. Where do I find the bids, Miss M, to do that? I know I'm going to build relationships. I've got the phone numbers, but what if I want to find bids? I'm going to share that with you. I know that I want to do state. Where do I find state contracts? I'm going to share that with you. You already know that you can go to your primary, the prime contractors and fill out the applications. 3 of them are going to want heavy equipment. 2 of them will work with small businesses. They'll get back with you if they think that they can use you. I believe in following up. Inside of our packet, we give you a follow-up. Follow that for anything. Follow it for, because you're going to call them and miss a day. Send them an email and miss a day. But keep a little chart of when the last time you sent something. You don't want to bombard them, but you don't want them to forget about you either. You want them to be on top of mind. So we know this is all we need for disaster relief. This is it. Now, the next step is middleman. You're always, always, always going to go to O for offer and B is for buyer. It always is going to be on usaspending.gov to find who your buyer is. So you're going to go to usaspending.gov and you're going to come here and put in your keyword of what you're looking to do. So I'm going to put in nursing services and I'm going to choose a year, fiscal year 2023. I'm going to just hit submit. And then I'm going to look at the time. I can see they spent $1 trillion. I'm going to look at the category and I know who my buyers are. I want you to write down the top 5. On your workshop sheet, you should have a sheet to write down top 5. You know these are your buyers. You want to see if any of them might be in the local area where you can actually go meet with them. That's why you have those phone numbers. They're arranged in areas as well, different military installation bases. Some of you have bases close to you. That's the goal of trying to find one close by. The other way you're going to do is you can come here and you can say award type. We're looking for contracts. You can come here and you can say agency. You can put in your Department of the Homeland Security. You can come here. You can put in location. You can select your location. And then you can come here. You can put in recipient. We're going to go with recipient type. We're looking for general business. And then we're looking for small business. And then last, we can come here and we can choose the award amount. And we're going to say 1 million and under. When you follow this, slow it down and look at all of the categories. This is how we filter. It's going to tell you exactly what I mentioned. Department, your top department, Department of Health and Human Services was the #1 buyer for nurses. Let's say that's your industry. Then we're going to go all the way down till we get to contracts that are under $1 million. It's going to tell us what quarter they're buying these contracts the most in. You want to look for the very next quarter. Right now, we'll begin quarter number 3, April 1st. We're right now still in quarter 2. If you see that April 1st, and that's usually when it starts to get higher because that's the 3rd quarter, start building that momentum. You want to see which agency, and then you want to start calling. Now, what else can you do? You've got the list of numbers. You also are going to have the list for the OSDBU. You guys have that as well. OSDBU are connectors. They're key players to connect you to the contracting officer. Quick question, because my business name has janitorial in the end, does that limit the contracts I can get? No, it does not. You're just going to have to put other things in there to let you know you can do other things. So that's where you're going to have to create your signature system, which we're going to talk about. But no, you can do other things. Okay? Other things than just that. But with the contracting, I want them to work with each other. Yes, you want all of them to work together because they usually do. Most janitorial and homeless shelter and trucking and all that during a disaster can work together. Okay? Very important. As soon as I'm done, oh, you're welcome. As soon as I'm done, you're going to ask your question, what's the next step? Well, we're sending you that brochure with that sheet with all that information within 2 hours with the live recording we're going through now. What's your next step? What am I going to offer? The very next question you need to ask yourself, you want to go to offer. Okay, check. I know what I'm offering. Who is your buyer? Where do you go? USAspending.gov. You learn who your buyer is. You write down your top 5 buyers. Then you know those 2. Then you can simply go on and you can start once again looking for your agencies or your departments. Every department has a small business program specialist. They're there for you. They work for you. They're government employees. Every agency, Defense, U.S. Air Force, Army, Department of Defense, EPA, Department of the Navy, every department is on here with a phone number and an email address to reach out to them. So remember, our goal is to first look at winning a no bid. So if I see that the Department of Health and Human Services is one of my top buyers, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to that introduction letter that M just gave you the template for, and I'm going to work on creating an introduction letter that's going to make them say, I want to call that person or email them. The goal is for them to say either 2 things. I want to set up a capability briefing, which you have a template. It's a PowerPoint similar to what we're doing now. It's a slideshow presentation where they'll be on there and you'll be on there just like a Zoom. Instead of in person, they may want to do a Zoom like we're doing. The goal is to get to know your company. They want to get to know your company and what can you do for them? Always think about it. What's in it for me? That's why you're here with me. What's in it? What's all this in it for you? Doesn't care what I've won or what other students. What can you do? That's what you want to care about. Well, that's the same thing there. Just people like we are. They want to know what's in it for them. You've got to visit that. What? The budget. I think the budget's in that package. You've got to visit what? Their websites. You want to know what you can do to solve a problem, even if it's small, to make them keep wanting you. The problem we solved when I was doing facility support was indoor air quality. We found something at Home Depot that read the quality of the air, and we know that's a big problem because all the dust and allergy it gets in people's nose, and what ends up happening is they get sick, and a lot of them call out. We were able to read the air quality. We use HEPA filters and all this other stuff to attract the dust allergens. I can't think of the exact scientific word for it, but I got smart. I started looking at websites about indoor air quality. I started copying down words that sound like they were real sophisticated. And then I used that in my introduction letter. And what did they say? Wow, you really know what you're talking about. Because I did some studying. And so I did. And I won contracts left and right. That was my signature program. I go through this with probably thousands of students. And this is what they'll do. They'll send me this introduction letter and it'll say, I am, and they'll have their name. I'm the CEO. They'll have their company. We are a small business that specializes in quality, cleaning, or nursing, or security guard. And we would like to work with you. Nowhere in there do they have all the stuff I have that they specialize in. And that's where you want to come up with your signature system. We created one called Delivery, Setup, Cleaning, and Pickup. Our signature system provides up to 50% increased speed, transparency, faster service. I can count the students that put that in there. And they want to know why they don't win contracts. Because everyone says they have quality whatever. I have quality nursing. Who's not going to say that? But what does that really mean? That tells me nothing. But when I start talking about, I have a signature system called this. Jiffy Lube, if you go into Jiffy Lube, they take the windshield wipers, they vacuum out, but what do they call it? A 10-point service system. That sounds better than, well, we do your windshield. It sounds professional, and it's like what you're doing is you're branding. You're branding your company. You're branding it. That is what so many people don't do. When you can brand your company, you'll be surprised how these government agencies stop and pause. Because out of all the things they're teaching, they're not teaching a high level with with branding. I was blessed to get my degree in marketing and all that. And so I know a lot about that. And that's a part of what I bring to you, is to infuse that with government. So this is where I want you to take your time. This introduction letter is going to be priceless if you do it right. Your elevator pitch is what you're going to call us and leave a voicemail message. You're going to call and leave a voicemail message because your elevator pitch is what we hear. So you're at an event and they come up to you and say, hi, what's your name? You're at some kind of government event and they come up to you and say, hi, what's your name? My name is Victoria Menifee. My company is Encore Project Management. And we're able to do an indoor air quality as IAQ, indoor air quality, IAQ program called blah, 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 enhanced air. And what we do is this, this, and this. And I would love to sit down with the capability briefing with you. So in those 30 seconds, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to let them decide if I've given them enough information where they want to hear more. I'm not trying to sell my service. I'm not trying to win a contract on the spot. So your introduction letter is when you send via email. Your elevator pitch is what you might say over the phone when you call them. So introduction is written, elevator pitch is verbal. So don't send me your elevator pitch in an email. Send me your elevator pitch either through an MP4 where I can hear you, or you're going to call our office. We're not available Mondays and Fridays. Call those times. We're available from 10 to 12. Call outside of that, because I want to be able to hear you so we can listen to if you say a lot of ums or you don't know quite, you're rambling on and you're not told me anything. This is where the money comes in. So take your time. You've got a time frame. You're going to send that to us. You're going to have the email where you're going to send it. We're going to review it and send it back. Okay. Any questions on the introduction letter or the capability statement at all, or the elevator pitch? Any questions? What's this purpose? When do you use it? Anything? Okay. Now, I know that, let's see if there's a question. Nope. Okay, great. I know now, I already know what I need to do for disaster relief. I have no questions. Now I'm going to move on to the middleman. I know if I know who my buyer is, I go to usaspending.gov. I'm going to write down the 5. Then I'm coming here. I can go to usaspending.gov and I know what agencies are spending the most money. If I want to look to see what agencies are, so I'm going to go to acquisition.gov. Acquisition. God, hopefully I spelled it right. Oh, let's come here. A-S-A-Q-U. Here we go. So acquisition.gov is here. When I go to acquisition.gov, this is for outstanding upcoming. These are called long-range goals. Short-term goals is getting on the phone, calling, sending emails. That's our short-term strategy. Our long-term strategy is things that may be out in the fourth quarter, building that sales pipeline where I get to know the people, where when that fourth quarter hits, which is July, August, and September, bam, I'm ready. This is where you're going to come. Every agency has a procurement forecast. You're going to look for your agency, hit the procurement forecast, and it should give you the ones we're looking for is 25 to 250,000. These are the ones the contracting officer can award to us without any bidding. So we want to focus on those. Micro purchases are under 10,000. If you don't have a government credit card that you accept, you can't do micro purchases. But if you can do both. Micro purchases are under 10,000. You can do federal or state, or you can do the SAP, Simplified Acquisition Procedure, is 25 to 250. Where else do we go to find that? We come here to FPDS. This is one of my favorite places to find contracts. All of these are free. You're going to come here and it's like a Google search. I'm just going to put in security guards and hit enter. I'm then going to filter by using advanced, and I'm going to filter what I'm looking for. Dollars obligated, I'm putting up to 250,000. I'm going to hit search. I'm looking for date signed. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to hit date signed. I'm going to look for March 1st and I'm going to look through, we'll put through August 1st. And I hit search. Now I'm going to then come in and I can put in my state. So I can put in my state, and that's going to be place of performance, POP. I'm going to put in my state right here, and I'm going to put in Florida. I have to put it all in caps. I'm going to hit search. Now, it's narrowed it down quite a bit. Security guards in the state of Florida is what I put. So let's say after I do this, I won't put a state in so it can have more. So it's telling me there's one for Veteran Affairs and one for Department of Homeland Security. I'm going to view it. And this is, of course, I'm looking for expiring contracts. So the next thing I'm going to do, this contract was signed on March 1st. It expires on the 2028. I want one that's going to expire in maybe May or June of 2024. So what does that mean I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to say on Mondays, I'm going to spend an hour on FPDS. If I work a day job, I'm going to do it when I get home. If I have children, I have to cook, I'm going to do it on the weekend. But I want to have a list. I'm writing down a list of all these contracts. What else am I writing down? I'm looking for when they're going to expire. Sometimes they have the email person in there where you can write them right away. And I'm looking for the company that won. I might call them and see if I can be a subcontractor for them because they put their address right there. Then I'm coming down here to look and see under the competition how it was won. Very important you guys see this. This was won under Simplified Acquisition Procedure, SAP, like I've been teaching you. It was the lowest price technically accepted. Get to know that term, LPTA. That means it's all about price. They took 6 bids, and out of those 6, they chose one. They didn't have to, they probably either gave them the bids, because if they only chose one company, it would be a 1 there instead of a 6. If they didn't, and they went with a disabled vet, they did it under the simplified acquisition, which means they didn't have to bid, which means they probably told them, we're going to send you a scope of work. Tell me how much you could do this for, or they're going to give them the price. And maybe the other companies felt like they couldn't do it for that price. So that company won. That is how you find a simplified acquisition procedure if you want to do middleman. If you want to do disaster relief, you go to DSBS and you find someone that can do the middleman. So DSBS is right here, and you should be listed on DSBS. If I want to do a contract in Florida, where am I going? I'm going to come to DSBS. I'm going to hit Florida. Let's say I've decided to do a contract. I have no experience. I know nothing about it. But let's say I want to do a contract under Facility Support Services. So that's going to be 56210. I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to hit criteria. When I hit this criteria, now I've got all these companies. I'm going to look for the one that looks like they've got the most in here, which this ERS one does. I click onto there. And now I'm going to reach out to them. They're in Jacksonville, Florida. There's a storm, and I'm in Texas, and they're in Jacksonville, Florida. And I may even go in and put in the zip code because they may be too far from Tampa. I need someone that can be in Tampa. I'm in Texas. I found a bid by going on to expiring bids. I found one was a simplified acquisition procedure. I found one that's going to expire in 90 days. I'm going to now share with you how you find the contracting officer or the government buyer. Where now, what are you doing? You're snoozing them. You're calling them. You're emailing them. You're building that relationship before it expires. So they're going to say to themselves, you know what? I think I'm going to give them a try. They've been really putting in the work. I'm going to give them a try. Also, you have a great profile in your DSBS. We can look at that as well. And they're calling you. In the fourth quarter, they have all this money left over they have to spend. They will call you if you're visible and attractive. That means you don't have any broken links. That means you have your capability statement attached to your website. That's what you want to do. So you must have a DSBS profile. You go to sbaconnect.gov and you set it up once you have your cage code. That's how you're going to do this. And you're going to listen to this recording again and again and again, because I'm breaking it down in bite-sized pieces so that we can follow the breadcrumbs and know exactly how we're doing it. You can go to that school platform again and look at that, and you can come to the recording. So now, middleman. I want to do a middleman. I've gone on to usaspending.gov and I know what agencies are buying the most of whatever it is I want to do. Because a middleman, you may not have experience in, but you go to DSBS to find someone that does. Once you know they have the experience, you have your non-disclosure agreements and all that inside of the paperwork we're sending you, you just set that puppy up, have them sign it before you send them the scope of work. You don't send them everything. You just send them the scope of work. You don't send them the agency, because if you do, guess what? They can bid on it themselves. So you don't want to send all that. Okay? The goal is to win a contract without bidding. But there will be times that you have to bid. That's your long-term strategy. So are there any questions on DSBS, why you need it, and how to go into FPDS to look for expiring contracts, look for competed under simplified acquisition procedure, and write down the subcontractor who you might want to call and subcontract with, because that's important. Okay? I don't know how to change the DSBS profile. You're going to have to go into SBA. It's going to be sba.connect. See, I think that's it. So it's Connect SBA. So let's see. I always get that part confused. We'll send that to you, because it's either Connect, see, sbaconnect.gov. I think this is it. Let's see. Connect. Here we go. Connect sba.gov. You're going to go here and you're going to go in and you're going to go with login.gov. You're going to put in your login. You're going to accept. You're going to put in your login information, your email, if you already have your cage code. And then once you do that, it's going to take you back to this. Oh, where was it? It's going to take you back to, I probably can't go back. It's going to take you back to the SBA Connect. And at that time, it's going to be a little thing on here that says, update your SBS, your DSBS profile. So you can update it. You can do whatever you want to it. So it's going to take you there. And I think we have inside of there, I think we have your DSBS. So it should show you how to do that too. Okay. Inside a little sheet with all that information, I think the SBS, how to upgrade it and all that's in there as well. There's a video with me sharing it with you, sharing the screen. Okay. So now we have our SBS. We know to go to FPDS. That is going to be where you're welcome. That is going to be where we really understand the middleman. You want to find upcoming expiring contracts, and you want to look for the ones that say simplified acquisition procedure. The ones you have to bid on are going to say open and full competition. And you're going to go to, just simply go to the area down here that says competition information. You're looking for competed under SAP, and normally source selection process, all they did was look for the lowest price. That's what they did. Yep. If you have to bid on it, it's going to say this word right here. Where does it say it? Right there. Other than full and open competition. So they didn't do it under full and open competition. They gave it. But your goal is to look for two things here. You can look to see if you can sub with someone. That's easy money fast. Easier than some other things. You're going to look to see when it's expiring. Have a date. 2/28 is too far out. But you can call that contracting officer and see if they have something sooner. If you build up your introduction letter and all your DSBS profile and all those things that support you, that look like you're a viable company. So will we still be bidding? Yes, you would be bidding anytime you're looking to get, if you're looking to be a sub, then you're going to be the sub. If you're going to call the prime, you're the sub. You're calling them to let them know, I've got an introduction letter. Either you can choose to give them the elevator pitch when they answer the phone. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I live in the state of Florida. I noticed that we do similar work. I think I'd be a good fit because I have this specialized program that works really well. Do you mind if I send you my introduction letter? Boom. Hi, blah, blah, blah. Do you mind if I meet with you somewhere? Because remember, try to find one local. Do you mind if I meet you? When you're doing the middleman, you're the prime. You are the prime when you're the middleman. You are the prime contractor. You're finding these contracts in order to middleman out. And the way you find the middleman is DSBS. You go to DSBS because you know everyone in there has been vetted like you. I've had people do Google searches and find companies to do the work. What you're looking for is someone else to do the work. If it's a federal contract, they can do it anywhere. If you're in Texas, you can get a contract in Florida, anywhere. But if you're looking to do a state contract, it has to be the state your company's registered in. So if you're looking to do the middleman on a state level, you have to be registered in that state. If you're looking at doing the middleman on the federal level, it means you find a federal contract, because remember, there's federal contract, state contracts, local contracts. Local is your county, state is your state, and there's federal. Every one of you should be registered with your state procurement office. So just put in state procurement, because they're going to send you bids on a state level that may not be on the platform I'm going to share with you that you might use. Okay. So if you're looking at doing the middleman, you can do the middleman with anything. What's the first thing you're doing if you're going to do the middleman? Go to usaspending.gov and see what you want to do the middleman with. Is it nursing? Is it IT? Is it cybersecurity? Whatever it is, you need to see who's buying what you're trying to do. Then you've got to be good at winning the contracts, because you're middlemaning it out. And you need to be good. You want to become good at winning contracts anyway, whether you're going to keep it or middleman it out, unless you want to be a sub. Some people suggest you trying to be a sub for 2 or 3 years before you become a prime, so you can see how it works. I was a sub, but I wasn't a sub for 2 or 3 years. I was a sub for maybe 6 months. Okay. But why? Because I had done a lot of commercial work. I did private. So I had not just come into business. I had been in business for maybe a couple of years. And I subbed for a couple of months, and then I started becoming a prime contractor. So let's kind of recap. If we're doing disaster relief as a prime or a sub, we know where to go. If we're doing the middleman, we need to go to usaspending.gov to find what agencies are buying what we're looking at selling. We're going to write down the top 5. Then we're coming to FPDS with the sole purpose of looking for upcoming expired contracts. We can look to be a sub, because the contractor that won the contract is going to be listed on this contract. This is an actual contract. Okay. They did this work for $173,000. Remember, if you're doing the middleman, it has to be under 250. You can't go over 250 unless you do half. So if the contract is $400,000, I have to put in half of the payroll, and you have to put in half the payroll. I have to put in half of the supplies, and you have to. We're sharing it. If it's under 250, you can middleman it out 100%. Or if it's a certified, you can 100% middle. You're a veteran. You're a woman-owned small business. 100%. If it's $1 million contract and you are a woman-owned small business, you can 100% middleman that to the other contractor, and they'll do it for the whole million just for you. Now, if you're the middleman, if you're using that method, you're still the prime. They're going to call you if something's wrong. They're going to call you if they have a complaint. So don't think you can just middleman it like they do on some YouTube and just keep it going. No, they're going to call you. So you've got to know something about calling somebody if you have a question. They may ask you something technical about cybersecurity, and you know nothing about software. You might need to make sure you do something that you could reasonably figure out. I didn't go too far into something I didn't know, because if they call me and I'm in charge of that contract, I've got to either have a real trusty person that I can ask, or I need to know, because I'm the one that's going to have to answer it. So FPDS is where you come to find expiring government contracts. You go onto LinkedIn, and all you're doing on LinkedIn is you are connecting with the players in your area. That's what I love about LinkedIn. It's in your area. You're going to go to search. You're going to find out what department. So it might be Department of Veteran Affairs. So if I'm looking for Department of Veteran Affairs, I'm looking for their company page. I'm going to hit view their page, and I am going to look for their people. They have 100 and what was it? 11,950 people. All of these people, I'm going to start looking for some that are in my area. What am I going to do? I'm going to look like she's a special agent. I'm looking for contracting officers. I'm looking for OSDBU. I'm looking for small business program managers. I'm looking for um, all of them, contracting officer representatives. What is my goal? My goal is to hope I can find a contract that's going to expire and it's under the Veteran Affairs. I may not know if this person has anything to do with it or not, but they're in that agency. That means they're my buyer. I'm going to connect with them, and then I'm going to look at a couple of the email samples we've given you guys on what to say when you reach out via email. I just got finished doing my homework by looking at your fiscal year budget, and I noticed that you've got a lot of upcoming contracts. Money's going to be spent in this area. I feel that my agency or my company is a great fit for that particular thing you're looking to spend on. Maybe they're doing more AI stuff. Maybe they're doing whatever. That's what you want to connect with. Look at those templates because they give you ideas. And then remember, do your due diligence by looking at the websites and looking at the budgets. That's what you have to do. We can't do that. And I say that again because I get so many people. Miss M, I just finished the disaster relief contract workshop and I don't know what to do next. That means you haven't done anything because I'm telling you every step of the way. Once you do this, you're going to do this. Once you do this, you're going to do that. Once you do that. And I like to break it down as if we're in the 5th grade because it's a lot. I've been doing this for years. So I know it's a lot. So I break it down and again and repeat myself so you have this recording and you can stop it and pause it and listen to it again. Say, oh, this is what I do next. If I want to do the middleman and I don't want to do disaster relief contracts because disaster relief is FEMA, then I know I'm going to go to FPDS. If I want to do disaster relief contracts as a middleman and I go to FPDS, what am I going to do? Well, I know disaster relief is under Department of Homeland Security. When I go to FPDS, I'm going to look for Department of Homeland Security. When you hit enter, what comes up? Top 10 departments. Boom, there you go. Tells you right there who's spending the most money. Now you want to narrow it down to dates and phone and amounts of money, but this tells you the top 10 departments. Well, you looked at USAspending.gov to know who your top buyers. Come right here and find them. And then when you find them, where are you going? LinkedIn. Find them on LinkedIn page. What are you doing then? You're connected with them. What else are you going to do? You're going to go to your email template so you know what to say. If you're going to call them, where are you going to find them? On that sheet we gave you. Where is that? Boom, right here. You're going to call them on there, or you're going to call them on where else? You're going to call them on the OSDBU. You're going to send them an email or you call them. That's it. The work comes in repeating it, rinsing and repeat, rinsing and repeat, rinsing and repeat. That's where the work comes in. All right. That is it for the disaster relief contracts and the middleman. Now we're going to go on to DIBS, and I'm going to share with you where you are going to have some success. For 2 weeks, you guys will have access to our bid platform. I think I shared with you GovDirection. You have the login information is going to be right here. So as you can see right here, this one, you have free access from the 1st to the 15th. That's the class that just ends tomorrow. You guys will have it from the 15th to the 29th of March. All right. If after that you want to have access, one platform is $20, 2 is $40. There's no contract. After 30 days, we change the password. This is going to be the passwords you get. We even included 2. We're going to add 1 more in there. Or there's the 2. Our bidding platform access, all the information you need is right here. Okay. So there's the 2 platforms you're going to have access to. So let's go to GovDirection. When you're at GovDirection, it says there's 51,000 bids waiting for you. Here, disaster cleanup bids, subcontracting opportunities. If you want to come here, here's the bid categories. You just scroll right here. So give me 2 of the, let's look for one bid real quickly together. One is what? Give me the industries real quickly. Put them right here in the chat. Give me your industry. Or you can tell me. Janitorial, okay, and trucking. All right, very simple. So what we're going to do is I'm going to log out, and I'm going to come to janitorial bids. That's going to be on my screen because I put it up there. A lot of people want to do janitorial. You're going to hit janitorial bids. And what's your state? What state are you in? Louisiana. All right. So I'm going to come here, and it's in alphabetical order. I'm going to see if I see one for Louisiana. And these are the ones. If you don't have your cage code, then you know you're not going to look for a federal. There's a EBR, I don't know what that is, for corridor cleaning. Here's one for janitorial services. So what am I going to do? I know that this is due on March 19th. It's kind of tight. I usually like 2 weeks, but I'm going to click onto it. You click it, and you have to sign in. You're going to have to sign in. You hit sign in. And once you sign in, this is where you're going to go to actually look at the bid. So you click there, and this is going to be the results. This is going to be where you're going to find the bids right here. You're going to look for it because they put all the state bids right there. So you're going to know the bid number, and when you come here, it's going to be right there. Well, let's say you find one that you're interested in. Let's click onto it, and that's your bid. So that's how you're going to find your bids, okay? Also, you're going to register with your procurement, your state. And the other thing you can do is you can come right here to sam.gov. This is free. So when the 2 weeks ends, if you don't want to pay, you can go to fpds.gov and find expiring contracts. sam.gov or current, and acquisition.gov is for upcoming. So if I want to find a current bid, I'm coming here. Do you have to pay for this site? You have to pay for this one. The site right here, let's see if I can find it. This one is $100. If you come up under us, you get it for 20. Yeah, $20 for both of the sites together, just one price for 20. You get the RFP site and you get this one. So if you wanted to continue after the 29th of March, you would pay us $20, no contract. At the end, we send you an invoice. You don't want to do it anymore because you want to bid, cross our fingers. We change the email or the password so you don't have access to it. That's it. So this one you do have to pay. sam.gov, you do not. You come into SAM, you hit contract opportunities. You put in what you're looking for. We'll put in janitorial just to be quick. We hit here. And now all of the bids are there. You're going to come here, and what you're looking for is notice type. You want to hit onto the notice type, and you're looking for combined synopsis. This is quotes. That means it's all about the price. You see one you're interested in. Now you can also, I didn't put in the place to performance because I didn't want to narrow it down. There may not be any in Louisiana. I'm going to click here. And this is where sam.gov is going to download the bid for me. So this one is under the National Oceanic. The one gentleman just won one from there. Now we're going to come here. We're going to look to see when this bid is due. March 26th, they just published it on March 12th. Can I perform? Yes. All of us are total small business set aside. So if you see original set aside, if it said woman owned or veteran, you couldn't. But if it says total small business set aside, every one of you can do that. That means your annual revenue is under 19.5 million. This is what it's for, janitorial. The place of performance, it doesn't have it. This is what the previous award was for $15,000. They're looking for someone that can do this work. You're going to simply come here and put the total amount. Now, you guys might want to middleman this out. This is an actual bid. You're going to put down the total amount. They're going to they tell you you're going to put it on the month on your letterhead, and boom. So what did I do? It gives you all the information there. You can bid on it right there. Download that and bid on it. What strategy do I suggest? So for 5 years. It was a 5-year contract. Let's see. What did it say? Let's see. I think it said it up here. somewhere that the last contract, oh, I think did I hit it? No, I just went down here. Whatever the price was, I don't see it right now, but yes, it was a total, it meant that the total contract was for 5 years, so it may have for 15K, or so it might have been something small. No, you can get another contract. You can get as many contracts as you want. A 5-year contract just means that contract is for 5 years. That's all that means. But you can get 10 contracts if you can. Okay. They gave you the price of the last contract because they want you to know. Most people, when they get the price of the last contract, which is information you want to try to get, they let you know that you probably want to add inflation. You might want to add 4% to that last price. And then every time you do a year, add maybe 4%, because they want to know what the price you're going to charge them for 5 years out. So every year add 3 or 4% because of inflation. Okay. So now let's recap. When this video ends and our training has concluded, we're here for you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can call our support team, or you can send us an email. We answer emails within 24 hours, okay? I'm going to decide how I want to win this contract. If you follow this formula, you will not go wrong. O is for what you're offering. B is for your buyer. Go to usaspending.gov to find that. A is for the avenue you want to win. You guys are going to look to win either through disaster relief, doing it yourself, or middleman. Middleman with any kind of contract. It doesn't have to be disaster relief, or through DIBS, which we're going to we're going to share that with you. That's the 3 ways I suggest. You're going to try to set up relationships the way I've shown with you. We're going on LinkedIn and seeing what's expiring and sending out emails and phone calls. And you're also going to come to sam.gov and the other bid platforms to do a quote. I would not do a request for proposal. You're not ready for that unless you want to bid already. They can be tricky. Stick with the quotes. It's all about the price. And a lot of times you have the previous contract and you get the scope of work, so you know if you can do it for that amount of money. Don't take something you don't feel you can do. That's it. Now, DIBS is here. DIBS is a great place to go. You have to have your cage code. You want to come here and you want to download all the federal classes. There's about, I forget how many thousands of them. So you come here, and these are all the things DIBS buy. Defense Logistics Agency, they buy all of this. You look to see which one. Let's say you want to do office supplies, 7510. What I like to do is copy and paste. You may want to do 6 of them, but I'm going to copy and paste what I want to do. Then what's the next thing I'm doing? The next thing I'm going to do is go to RFQs, and I'm going to come to Federal Supply Class. That means that's how I'm searching, and I think it was 7510. Hit search. Now these are office supplies, tapes, blah, blah, blah. This right here, you don't want to do any with technical documents. You have to get a clearance for that. You have to get approved for that. So you want to find technical docs, none. You come and you hit. And this is the actual bid. What you're looking for with DIBS is you are looking to see when is the last time they've bought it. That's going to be on this DIBS paperwork. The last time they bought this was the 23rd, November the 15th. I want something that has been bought within the last 30 days, no more than January 2024. If I saw this, I'd keep going. So that's my first strategy. Look for something you know they want to buy. The next thing is, if you're just getting started, you want to get started with something small. Pay attention to the unit of issue. 13 is the quantity. The unit of issue is 85. That means that they paid $85 for 13 of those. This says 1, the unit issue was, there was 1, and the unit cost was 109. That means that they paid a lot more for that than they did up there. Now, the next thing with this is you've got to come here and you've got to find who is selling it. This is who's selling it, Clean Clay. Now, the next step is I've got to find clean clay. So I might come here and I see if I can find clean clay's phone number. And here's clean. It looks like they sell on Amazon. So I'm going to try to see if I can reach out to them, tell them I saw this part, the price, let them give you the price. If they're saying the last time they paid for that was 109, you know that's about what it went for. Now it changes a lot. So you want to look at more than just one number, but look at the last one, but kind of look at a pattern. What you're looking to do is you're looking to see if you can get it where you might be able to make $2. You just want to get a past performance and you want to see if you are interested in doing dibs. Try your best to get a small one, something that's just a couple $100 that you can afford to use your credit card, because some products on dibs could be $2,000. That means you're going to have to buy it from someone, ship it to DLA, which is where dibs is, Defense Logistics Agency, and you're going to have to pay for it first. Now, the other thing you can do is you can come here and you can find RFPs that are for approved cage. There's 4 people that will give you credit: Granger, Uline, Quell, and McMaster. What does that mean? That means you're going to Google Granger's cage code. Granger cage code. They have a whole lot of them. You can call them. They're listed. When you come here, you're looking, this is just one of them, 070U6. So we come back here and we put in 070, I think it was U6, and we hit search. And they had 0. So that's not a great cage code. But what should happen is, maybe those are zeros. Well, let's see. Here's another one, 25795, 25795. Let's go back again. 25795. So we're going to go back to approved cage. It was 25795. Let's see if that's right. These are all the bids, 77 that I don't care what industry they're under, because if you can't find someone to sell to you, you can't resell it to the government. So some of these people are on here selling directly to the government. They're not going to sell to you because you're their competition. But these people will sell to you. Granger, Uline, Quell, and McMaster Car will sell to you. These are the products that you can buy, and you can probably get them on credit, and you can find them. They'll sell them to you, make a little profit, and that's how you start to understand dibs. Okay? Now, there is something called the Dibs Navigator. Let's see if I can find it. This is a paid site. It is $75. We pay for that. This isn't a part of what we give you. We give this to our students that are going to crack the Gov code, but we give you guys the other one because that's the one that we put with the disaster relief. This one is good because what it does, it gives you a list. So in the last 7 days, there were over 187 million in the last 7 days. This one right here, let's log in. And this is one of the ones that they have this new tool here called the reseller tool. They will let you know what companies will resell to you. Part of the problem on dibs is not knowing who is going to sell to you. So you spend a whole lot of time. The other thing is they give you the phone numbers. You don't even have to go on there and Google the phone numbers. You find a phone number and they give you all the history. So if I'm interested in something, I go to history, see if I can find it real quickly. I would go to history right here. And what it does is it brings it up and it gives me their history. And I've got all the information right here. I've got the history, and also I'm able to look and see the details. Boom. Melbourne, Florida, their phone number. I can contact them and say, hey, I saw this is for sale. I want to know how much it is. So part of the reason you're paying the $75, and this isn't mine, I use this, but this isn't my platform, is because of the speed. They're giving you everything, the history, the last time, what they recommended, the deal recommended price is $153.03. They let you know if you're paying too much. So you're paying for speed and knowledge at your fingertips. You can go through Google and find all of this, but that's what you're paying for. Now, this does not come with your workshop, but I want to give this to you. If you decide to go with them, try the free. There is a free here for 30 days. It doesn't give you the premium. This is a premium example, but they will give you something to get started. After the free for 30 days, you can call them and you can say, Miss, I'm one of Miss M students. They will give you, I think he gives you $10 off because you're one of our students. Okay? Well, that is it. That is all we have. Are there any questions before I send you this live recording with all the information and you guys get started? Any questions? Any questions?
Can you hear me?
Well, you know what, Miss Trina? One of the things I suggest is this. The Crack the Gov code is my favorite one. Crack the Gov code is live and it is on the school platform. It shows you everything. It's $9.97. You get the $297 you paid for this, and we put it towards it, so it's $700. We have a payment plan of $345, so you would pay two payments of $345. It starts on next week. We open enrollment, and in there, this is what you receive: the DIVS Navigator, the bid platforms for 4 months, a one-on-one with me if you pay in full. So if you pay the $700, you get an hour one-on-one with me. If you play a payment plan, you get a 30-minute. Every Tuesday, I'm live with all the other students. We break you up into small groups on Wednesdays, so that way you don't have to look for other people to work with. That's the T part of the teaming. People have won contracts with this more than any. We just had a couple of ladies win an $85 million contract. Pam and Deborah, $85 million. 5-year, $85 million. They were in crack. The first they were where you guys were. They took the $297, got credit for it. So it was only $700. So it's like you're getting two workshops for the price of one. You can still go into the disaster relief and crack the code, Gov code. Crack the Gov code gives you so much more detail. It gives you a whole lot. So you get to work with me. You have other students that you break into small groups with. We call them money maker. We give them the group's name. Also, I pull one person's name to come visit me. All expense paid trip in DC. I pay for your food, your everything. So the way you're going to sign up with that is going to be here. So let's go visit here. The way you're going to sign up there is going to be here. Let me share the screen real quickly. This is it. So I'm going to take you to the actual website. So you're going to go to the Crack the Gov Code Academy. This is it. You're going to come right here. And that's all the information, what you would know at the end, everything. And then what you're going to do is, since you already have been with me and we have 5 days before we open, I'm going to send you, we open our doors on the 18th. So on Monday, you can register. Okay. You'll get a link for $700. I'm going to send that to you. And you would be able, I'm going to send you the $700 or the $345. If you do it in full for $700, you get more perks. You get the navigator for 90 days where you don't pay it. You get to get your name pulled to come visit me. We pay your plane fare. These are the people that won last time. These people right here. You can hear their interview. They've interviewed and they talked about how much they loved it. Here it is right here. And that should be on there because we like people to know that we do a winner every time. So they came, we picked them up, we pay for your food, we do everything for you. So here's their story where they came to visit with us and had a great time. So we do a one on, if you win, you only can be a winner if you do the full payment. Everything else, you still get a lot if you don't do the full payment, but we do give people who put out the investment of full payment, we give them that. So that's called Crack the Gov Code. If you're interested, then I will send you the link. I set up for dibs. It's hard to make six figures doing that method. It's not hard to do six figures doing the dibs method, but you have to learn the process because part of the process is shipping. And when you do the shipping, you're not going to get the shipping from dibs until you win, but shipping is the key. So no, it's not hard because there's people doing 3 million a month. Trina, can you call me right after? Can you give me a call? So that way I can give you the information to get started on Monday. Can you call me? Okay, you've got my number. Give me a call. Well, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you guys so much. You're going to receive the recording and you're going to receive all the information. Thank you, Damien. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you in a second, Trina. Talk to you guys soon. Much luck. And let's get those six figures and beyond. Pow! Let's make this happen. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.